In March 2011, Google did a comprehensive survey of 5,000 shoppers to see how consumers' decision-making process had changed since the launch of the internet. And they discovered that consumers are making decisions well before the actual moment of the in-store or online purchase. In fact, they discovered that 88% of consumers research products and services before they buy, consulting an average of 11 different sources of information before they make an actual buying decision. And they call this the zero moment of truth, which is when the consumer has done all their research and they've concluded what they are going to buy, and in some cases where they will actually buy it before they've even made the purchase. So what does this mean if you're a retailer or an interior designer who's trying to grow the business and make more sales? It means that you can no longer rely on making sales only at the point of connection. In other words, if the first time you engage in a conversation with your customers in your showroom or online, it's too late. Most of them have already decided what they want, leaving you a very slim chance of persuading them to buy from you. Never mind the customer who's actually in your store, but what about the hundreds of potential customers who passed by your store or didn't see your website because their research took them somewhere else? In fact, the only reason that you are not making as many sales as you would like to make is because no one knows you even exist. Now, I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but the reality is that your biggest challenge is obscurity. So how do you dominate your marketplace? How do you get into the minds of your customers so that they think of you first instead of your competition? To understand your customers' thinking patterns, let's go back to Google's research and the ZMOT, of the zero moment of truth. They discovered that before consumers make a purchase, they spend on average 7 hours of interaction across 11 touch points in 4 different locations. And by the way, that doesn't matter whether they were buying a pair of shoes or a very expensive car. It came to the same thing. Now, touch points means that they either researched or came across a particular product in a leaflet or a brochure, a newsletter. Perhaps they read a review. They may have watched a video, read a blog, or they saw an advert. And they would have found this information, these various touch points, in at least 4 different locations, such as a social media post, a website, emails, perhaps in person. Maybe they came into a store, maybe by networking, or perhaps they found out about the products they were looking for at a speaking event. Now, if you're a retailer or an interior designer, ask yourself this question. How many touch points or locations is your name or your business represented? Most of you will probably have a website. Maybe you've made a few social media posts. But what about all the other touch points and locations? Because if you want to attract more customers to your business or to your store, wouldn't it make sense to have regular posts on social media? Or all the other touch points that I've mentioned? What would happen if you posted helpful videos about your industry? Of course, there's brochures, there's blogs, reviews, email campaigns, and so it goes on. Because the more you show up and the more visible you are to your target, the more likely they will buy from you. Because when they're doing their research, they will see you and all the various touch points and locations. Sometimes, retailers ask me, which is best, brochures or social media, newspapers or emails? Well, the answer is all of them. Yes, there are statistics that will show you better returns on your investments, depending which platform you use, but the key is to get your name into the marketplace every week, every day, and every hour if possible. And it needn't cost a lot of money, just some serious time and effort. It's far more important to flood the market with information about you and your business and your products and services than getting bogged down with which platform to use. Remember that on average, consumers spend up to 7 hours interacting across 11 touch points on 4 different locations. If you're only showing up on one or two different platforms, you're less likely to be seen. And even if your customers do find you, they'll become bored because there's not enough information for them to consume, and they're going to be looking somewhere else for their products and their information. So remember, it's critical to get your name into the marketplace across as many touch points and locations as you can and as often as possible. And if you want any help or guidance on how you can bring your business out of obscurity, please get in touch by sending me a message either via this link, or you can go to my website, www.ianretallick.com, send me an email from there and I'll get in touch. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.